Welcome to episode 2 of the Northern Soul Outdoors vlogs. This episode we're back in Yorkshire, North Yorkshire actually, in the little village of Malham, which is situated within limestone country. Malham is actually mentioned in the Domesday Book, and I think it means settlement in the gravelly places. Can't see much gravel around, but it's a popular destination actually for walkers, and we're here on a Saturday, and if I turn around you can see how busy it actually is. Would have expected Sunday to be slightly busier than this, but it isn't. So we're here on a Saturday and we're going to do a circuit starting off in Malham and finishing in Malham, and we're going to cover places like Foss, Goredale Scar, the limestone pavement above Goredale Scar, over to Malham Tarn, back down to Malham Cove, and we come back down this road here, back into the village itself. So this is a indication of the route we're going to be taking. It's about 6 miles, don't know how many feet of ascent, but I'll put that on screen. Centre of Malham, not within the town itself, is Malham Smithy. As you can see here, I'm just stood outside, and it's actually a working smithy, and they make all sorts of handcrafted wrought iron articles for sale and sell them there in the smithy itself. So shall we go in and have a look? Come on. Just making our way from Malham Smithy, taking the path. We're actually on the Pennine Way, and we're going to be taking the path that leads towards Janet's Foss, probably 15 minutes away. I did ask at the smithy whether I could film inside because they had the forge going and there was some hammering and things. It would have made a nice bit of footage, but she was reluctant to be filmed, and she did say I'd have to make an appointment and come back. But that's not really the point of a vlog, is it? So there we go, missed out on a nice bit of internal shots, but onwards and upwards. See you in a bit. We're just approaching Janet's Foss now, which is further up on Goredale Beck, and it's where the Goredale Beck streams over an outcrop of tufa, which is a type of limestone. And the waterfall itself was an area where they used to use it for sheep dip in years gone past, and it's actually a Scandinavian term. Foss is a Scandinavian term for waterfall. It translates into English as Foss, and you can still sometimes see it, as in the previous video we're at Scalaba Foss, or sometimes Foss, and it's just up there at the back. It's quite busy day today around here. Didn't expect it to be like this really. And you can see it over the back there. I'm just going to wait for a few people to move so I can get a better picture. So come with me and walk this way. Here we are, right in front of Janet's Foss, or Janet's Foss as it's sometimes known. Janet was actually a fairy queen there was a cave to the rear of the waterfall, and it's a cave where Janet was supposed to inhabit, and it's the force of the fairy queen. Quite a popular spot if I spin round, as you can see. And if I further right round, you can see the azure pool at the back. They used to put sheep in there during the summer and dip them to try and get rid of ticks and things like that, and it was a big community event doing that. All the village used to turn out whilst they dip the sheep. So right, we'll move on to Goredale Scar. Keep watching. Just left Janet's Foss and we're now walking up alongside Goredale Beck, which is over here. And Goredale Beck cuts, or has actually cut over many thousands of years, a bit of a gorge in the limestone. It's called Goredale Scar, and this is it behind me, as you can see. And the path, it's actually a public footpath, runs up through Goredale Scar and up the waterfall at the end of the scar onto the Malham pavement, the limestone pavement above. So that's the route that we're going to be taking, and it's quite impressive. Actually quite impressive when you get up there and get in between them cliff faces. It's a bit of a mecca for climbers as well. I doubt that there'll be any here today, it's a bit too busy with people, but yeah, it's an interesting piece of geology. We're still just walking alongside Goredale Beck, and one of the things about limestone country up here is you get streams like this which appear to be quite substantial, just appear from nowhere out of the ground, and that's because of the porosity of the limestone and the amount of water that's contained within. So just getting to the sort of the top of Goredale Scar here, and all this, as you can see, all the hillsides, all the cliff faces, all close in quite a lot, and it's quite impressive really, because you just walk around the corner and you have this. I think at one time it was a cavern with a roof over the top, and over the years the roof's collapsed and the water has eroded it all and just opened it all up. But that cliff face there is usually inhabited by crag rats. You probably can't see, but you can see there is chalk marks on the way up, so they usually hang off there with ropes and things. So our path goes up by the waterfall and we climb over that and up onto the tops. So come on, walk this way. We're actually getting higher and higher up now the Scar, and the path goes straight up the waterfall. It looks probably worse than it actually is. It's quite some good handholds. You sort of go straight up the buttress in the middle. It's 2 stages of a separate waterfall higher up, which isn't as bad as this. This in fact, it looks worse than it actually is. So we're just going to go straight up there. I wouldn't say the top of Goredale Scar, but the waterfall part. Hope you can hear me for the sound of the water, which you can see behind. That's the second waterfall of the 2. We've just climbed the first one, which you can see behind me, and it's not too bad. I came up with Steve and his dog, and these 2 guys have got up with their dog. So if canines can climb, so can people. Just got to the top of Goredale Scar now, which is just over that hill, and we're into a valley with Goredale Beck down in the bottom, which you can probably see on the side there. And we're now just going to make our way up this path where these 2 guys are coming down. Then we're up on the limestone plateau at the summit, nice and steady, then over to Malham Town. Just got to, I suppose you could say, the summit of the walk really. We're on the limestone above Malham, as you can see. Limestone. And a dead sheep. Yeah, so this is where we are. It's windy, but it's some very nice, fresh, clean breeze. Sort of countryside up here, and I'm stood now on what is a Roman road. That down there is an old drove road, or a green lane. It's called Mastiles Lane. It leads down towards Kilnsey, famous feature called Kilnsey Crag down there, and it's an old, quite a wide ancient highway. It's good for mountain biking, I know that. I've been down a few times in the past on the mountain bike. Now, just on the tarmac road for a short time, takes us to the town, then we can take a left turn and down to Malham. So come on, make our way from this bleak stretch of moorland. Rather is bleak. Certainly wouldn't like to be stripped naked in the middle of winter and dumped up here. It'll be a little bit fresh, as you can see behind me. You take a left turn and head down to Malham Cove. Approach the outfall from Malham town. So we're taking the opportunity of having a lie down, as you do. This is actually the outlet from Malham Tarn, which Malham Tarn is just in that hollow in the hills there. Right at the back is Malham Tarn House, which is now a field studies centre, run by the Field Studies Council, I think it is. But the house was originally a private residence many, many years ago. It's quite old, quite a grand place as well. The claim to fame for the house is that it's where Charles Kingsley, the famous author, was staying when he wrote his novel The Water Babies. So he wrote that there. And there is a nice walk around the tarn. You can actually park up there, walk across around the tarn, back down this road here behind me, back to the car. It's nice in winter and it's crisp and clear. It takes about an hour and a half, and then down into Malham to the pub for some lunch. So, which is where we're going to make our way to now. I'm just going to continue along here, take a left turn, head towards Malham Cove. It's all downhill from here. If you watched the last video, you'll be familiar with Atamaya Cave and Victoria Cave and Lookout Cave and things. And yet another one. Significant with limestone ones for doing in caves. And you do get potholes as well, underground in the caves. And yeah, just making my way around the head of a dry valley, and as you see, the landscape opens up behind me into quite a big and steep limestone valley, and you can see where the water would have run down through. So keep progressing down. I think we end up down in that valley down there, and get past this ankle twisting path and make our way lower down. And the weather's coming in as well. If you can see, we've got very fine rain. Bit of a dry river valley now, as you can see behind me, running down. Malham Cove is just around the corner at the bottom, perhaps half a mile off, something like that. So we're going to make our way around the head of here. It looks like there's some pitch stone paving on the hillside, and walk along the valley bottom. So come on, this way. Up to the bottom of that pitch stone path down into the dry river valley. You can see where the water would have come tumbling down. But that pitch stone path, I know there's been erosion, that is the worst path I've ever been down. It's been raining slightly, the rock is greasy, your feet are slipping and sliding everywhere, and the way that the rocks have been pitched into the hillside make your feet slip off them. Surprising nobody's ever broken an ankle on there. They probably have, but we don't know. So anyway, onwards to the bottom of the dry valley now, and we're approaching what is probably the best known stretch of limestone pavement in the country, which is that, and that is the limestone above Malham Cove. So we're just going to make our way there, have a wander around. Oh, we have to walk across it actually to get the path back down into Malham village itself. So it's going to be a lot of looking down at the feet here, just purely because of the nature of the limestone. If you look at it, you've got clints and grikes, which is the local terms for the rocks themselves, and the eroded channels within them. And as I said earlier, it has been raining, so these could be quite slippy. So I've got the walking stick out just to try and help steady myself. So come on, let's go over Malham Cove. Here we are, Malham Cove, and that's the edge of the cove here, as you can see behind me. And it's about, I think it's about 350 feet straight down, as you'll see shortly, because we're going to go, there's a path over that side, you can see snaking down the hillside. So we're going to go down that path and back into Malham village itself. But this is it, Malham Cove, quite fabulous, very impressive, all limestone. And at one time there was a waterfall used to sweep over the top and down the bottom, and I think it was in 2015, Storm Desmond, it flooded the valley at the back so much that the waterfall actually came over the top again, which is understood to be the first time in many centuries that has happened. I'll try and find some footage of that and show you. Back on Malham Cove, and I'm just going to go and have a sit down next to Steve and Sherlock and dry off a touch. Back up here on the moonscape that is the limestone pavement above Malham Cove, and as you can see I'm walking gingerly because it really is an ankle breaker. So we're going to head that way down the path, and then we'll see it in all its full glory. So come on, this way we go. It's on the path that comes down the side of Malham Cove now. It's very well made, must have taken quite some time to build. It's certainly not an ideal situation to put a path with steps. Gotta say, it's hard going though, and looks like part of it's up for repair as well. Don't know how many thousands of feet come up and down this each year, but I would hazard a guess that it's in the hundreds of thousands. And I for one certainly wouldn't want to be the man lugging that up the hillside, really. So we keep plodding down here, and then we're on a pretty level path back into Malham itself. So come on, keep going.